And if anyone's been following the Discord, we've got a new little thing we're going to be trying out called 1,000 Words. Surprise images that you guys upload that I don't look at in advance, and I'll take one and make a quick 1,000 word-ish story. It's basically like 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll just come up with it off the top of our heads. All right. And the caption, or the file name is Emily Spacewalk. So I guess Emily set out as part of a 3-member expedition. They were going to explore asteroid mining in a new belt that was discovered around the Quintus system. The star, Quintus, was originally hoped to be home to numerous inhabited worlds. However, the only thing that was ever found around it were the remains of possibly destroyed worlds, and which coincidentally resulted in a lot of them being heavily rich in ore and strange alien technologies that no one had ever seen before. There wasn't any precedent for some of the devices that were discovered in and among the wreckage. So while certain prospectors contented themselves with melting down and reconstituting all the minerals they were discovering out there, some bold and enterprising individuals were more interested in the technology itself. Was it actually anything that they could salvage? Was it anything they'd be able to repurpose? Were they going to be finding museum pieces or the secrets to the next advancement of technology for humankind? So Emily, Joel, and Enoch had a rented spaceship and headed into the Quintus system to investigate for themselves. There was too much debris in the system for anyone to lay claim to all of it. Prospectors were on a first-come, first-served basis. Piracy was rampant. The little rental shuttle wasn't armed, but they had their hand weapons with them, so if they were out of the ship, they at least had some means to defend themselves, even if it wasn't much. They cruised for a while. Their rented scanner package was okay. It wasn't great. But they were hoping to strike a gold mine, not pan for dust. They were looking for something that would be big, that would stand out, that they'd be able to see with their naked eye. And we're going to pause there just a little bit because we're going to try to do be nice to the ad people. So we'll take a pause there. We should have waited till after this to get the story started, but we'll learn from the process. This is new for me and you guys. So Emily and her companions cruised the makeshift or artificial asteroid belt of the Quintus system for days. They found nothing. They were starting to run low on food. They knew that this was a long shot. This was probably going to be the first of many ventures. Their ship could only hold so much. They had enough funds to rent it twice more, maybe. 3 times if they were really careful with their rations. And then one day, the rented scanners picked something up. Oh, it picked something up. One of the larger asteroids turned, and on the far side of it, there was a small city. Or at least that's what they guessed it was. The architecture was utterly alien. A lot of wires, exposed wires everywhere. Cables big as a person's arm. And they ran in and out of the structure. They were both confused and elated. They didn't know what this was, but it was something, and it was what they were here for. More than just ore to be melted down. They didn't even have a ship capable of melting down raw materials. So they brought themselves in. They took a quick pass around it. There was no clear area for a landing zone. So they tethered themselves to one of the rocky parts of the asteroid and brought the ship in for a landing. It settled with a thunk. There was a grating that echoed through the hull. They weren't getting their entire deposit back on this thing. Emily got out. Joel stayed with the ship. Elon, he went with her. He didn't like the idea, but they couldn't justify leaving 2 people on board. They climbed into their EV suits and took a look around. Wow, the view they had. They could see the star. Quintus was an old blue giant, distant At least it seemed that way when they were on the ground. But it looks so much bigger now. Maybe it was the perspective. Maybe it was not having a ship protecting you between. Emily just stood and stared there, awed by the sight. Elon coughed into his microphone over the intercom. Hey, we gonna head back? Or are you gonna stand there looking all day? Emily shook her head. Sorry, yeah, let's go look. The structure had no door, but it was open. It was a mixed use facility. Whoever had built this didn't really believe in indoors. They used the cables as handrails, guide rails, as pulleys. They pulled themselves along with no gravity and, well, very little gravity. There wasn't much to anchor them either way. Inside the facility, dark and shadows. The sun was blue, their hand lamps bright white. Nothing made any sense. There was no written instructions. The creators of this building knew what it was for and didn't leave labels. Down and down they went. They found passageways. They followed cables. Elon kept pinging Joel on the ship. You still hear us? Still hear us? Yes, Joel replied. I can hear you. I'll let you know if I can't hear you. How? Elon asked. All right, fair point. I'll keep a ping on you every 10 seconds. How about that? And so a rhythmic ping began in the helms that Emily and Elon wore. Deeper and deeper they went, in search of anything, in search of a machine, in search of a device, in search of something they could take back with them, in search of something that would make this trip justified. If they had to, they'd map it and sell the coordinates, but even that didn't seem like it would be worth the trouble they'd gone to. They wanted something of their own. They wanted something they could justify the danger. And this was dangerous. Anything could collide with this asteroid at any moment. They hadn't the navigational equipment to check the telemetry of every piece of debris in the region. So inside they went, deeper and deeper, until the pings in their helmets stopped. Joel? Joel? Elon asked. Emily's like, I don't get him either. Should we head back? Yeah, definitely. There's no way. What's that? There was a glow behind them. The sun was blue, the hand lamps white, but this was orange? No, red. And it was getting brighter. Something was coming. There was no oxygen around them. They were bringing their own. But where they held the cables, they could feel the rumbling of its approach. Joel returned to the rental company 3 days later. Where'd your friends end up? We had a disagreement, Joel told them. That was the last anyone ever heard of Emily or Elon. All right. I guess I was in a mood for a grim story after that play.